So much news continues to come about this, whether it be the $3.5 trillion spending bill, the infrastructure bill, and now the debt ceiling. What do you make about Senator McConnell agreeing to extend the debt ceiling to December now? It's temporary. McConnell releasing a statement saying this: to protect the American people from a near-term Democrat-created crisis, we will also allow Democrats to use normal procedures to pass an emergency debt limit extension at a fixed dollar amount to cover current spending levels into December. End quote. Your thoughts on this? It seems that the can has continued to be kicked down the road here, but when does it stop?
Well, I'd have to say that Senator McConnell, when I heard the whole statement, did not give them the ability to include their spending package, almost $6 trillion. And so I'm not sure that Senator McConnell did anything more than help them with the time frame. But he did not help them with money, and I'm pleased to know that. I will be a no. And the reason why we're a no is because the Democrats control the agenda, and their agenda is to bankrupt capitalism here in America. And so I fully anticipate that their package will be smaller, but their pay-fors will be to gut the free enterprise system. Working people, people with farms and ranches, but small business will be in real trouble. And I'm not going to help them.
If we don't raise the debt ceiling, correct me if I'm wrong, by October 18th, according to Janet Yellen, we would go into default. Is that correct?
That is correct. When you have a government shutdown, mandatory spending continues, a shutdown. But this would actually be a debt limit shutdown where the entire government would not be allowed to spend any more money than what is brought in that day.
But you're a no on raising the debt limit.
I am a no on helping the Democrats until they get away from this $5,000 trillion spending package. The $5 trillion is excessive, unnecessary, and dangerous spending habit, and it will, as you have heard before, it will bankrupt the free enterprise system because the pay-fors are to raise taxes, the largest tax increase in the history of the universe.
Meantime, Senator Bernie Sanders coming out slamming moderates for stalling the massive spending plan. Listen to this.
So my concern with Mr. Manchin is not so much what his views are. I disagree with him. But it is that it is wrong. It is really not playing fair that one or two people think that they should be able to stop what 48 members of the Democratic caucus want, what the American people want, what the President of the United States wants. That would be my position.
Obviously, Bernie Sanders, Senator Sanders, holding strong on his $3.5 trillion, and he may want more than that, as you can imagine. But Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema, standing in the way of this. What do you make of this, and Senator Sanders really holding strong to this amount of spending?
Well, he's also said he wants to spend upwards of $7 trillion. I think it's very, very disingenuous for him to question another senator. Each senator comes from their own state. They have their own issues that they would like to represent. But small business in the states where these senators come from, across the United States, will be gutted. This will gut small business across America. And they know that. It simply empowers unions and government, and it's a big mistake.
Well, what you're saying backs up chief economist at Moody's Analytics, Mark Zandi, reports. Inflation could cost the average household in America $175 extra a month. That at minimum. Will extra spending by our government, by our political leaders, hurt American families making less than $400,000 a year?
Of course it will. But the big thing to remember here is that we remember from the past, the Democrats way back when, all going back to Clinton and President Obama, said they just simply didn't spend enough. This spends a outrageously amount of money that will be the coup de grace for the free enterprise system. It will wipe out tens of thousands of small businesses. It will change like it did with President Obama. We will have zero GDP growth for the year or two after this is done. Jobs will diminish. Lines will be for gasoline. They are going to embed their idea of socialism across America. That's not running the government. That's not following the examples that the American people want and need. This will financially alter America for its future.
Finally, Congressman, I want to get to some news that broke within the Lone Star State very recently. Your reaction to a federal judge striking down the Texas abortion law. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I did see that. I don't know the basis of it, but we have heard the discussions before. I look forward to the Supreme Court being the body that makes this ruling on the laws of this country. And so, once again, you could find probably federal judges across the country that could find a process that they could oppose. This is moving forward, getting closer to the Supreme Court decision. And, of course, I'm disappointed.
All right. I'll continue following that story and more here on the show. Congressman Pete Sessions, good to see you, Congressman. Thanks for your time.